Most couples think their family vision problem is about disagreeing on goals. They're wrong. The real issue is sitting in silence between them, and it's costing them more than they realize. This question comes up more often than people admit. How do we build a family vision we both actually agree on? And usually it's asked quietly, in the car, late at night, after a win that didn't feel as satisfying as it should have. Because on the surface, it sounds like a planning question. But here's the thing, it almost never is. Most ambitious couples approach this the same way they approach business planning. They think they need better tools, clearer frameworks, but the tools aren't the problem. Most couples don't struggle because they lack vision. They struggle because they're carrying different definitions of responsibility, and they haven't named that yet. When I sit with high-capacity leaders and their spouses, I notice something early on. They're both thoughtful, both committed, and yet they feel slightly out of sync, just misaligned enough to feel tension, and that tension usually isn't about goals. It's about weight. One person is carrying the weight of provision, legacy, risk, in future generations. The other is carrying the weight of emotional stability, relational health, children's needs, and daily life. Different weights, same family. But when you don't name the weight you're carrying, you start arguing about outcomes instead. Where to live, how fast to grow, what kind of life we want for our kids. Those aren't vision problems, they are unspoken responsibility problems. You can't build a shared family vision if both people feel unheard in their private fears. Not disagreements, those are easy to surface. But fears? Fears high. One person may be afraid of losing momentum, the other afraid of losing connection. One fears becoming irrelevant, the other fears becoming invisible. One fears that if you slow down, all the sacrifice wouldn't have been worth it. The other fears that if you keep going, the family will slip through your fingers. But most couples never say that out loud. They talk about schedules, finances, schools. All of those are important, but none of those are the root. I worked with a tech founder and his family. They couldn't agree on how much to scale. But after real conversation, he said, "I'm terrified that if I don't scale now, I'll regret it forever. I'll wonder who I could have been." And she said, "I'm terrified that if you keep scaling, our kids won't know their dad. We'll have the money and impact, but we'll lose what actually matters." Both are fears. Both are invisible in the strategy conversations. Once they named what they actually were afraid of, everything changed. A shared vision doesn't come from compromise. It comes from mutual understanding. Compromise says, let's meet in the middle. Understanding says, let me fully see the world you're carrying. Those aren't the same conversations. There's a moment I watch for in these discussions. It's when one person realizes, oh, you're not trying to stop me, you're trying to protect something. That moment changes everything, because suddenly the tension isn't me versus you, it's us versus the trade-offs of this season. And every season has trade-offs. You can't have everything at once. A young family with small kids can have presence and growth, but maybe not equally right now. A family scaling a business can have impact and margin, but probably not simultaneously. Every season requires you to choose what you're protecting now, knowing it will shift as seasons change. And that's actually hopeful, because you're not looking for perfect balance, you're looking for the right tempo for this time. What makes this harder is that you're usually good at deciding. You're decisive, strategic, used to clarity, but family vision doesn't respond well to force. You can't lead it the same way you lead a company. In business, clarity comes first, then alignment follows. That's uncomfortable for leaders. It feels inefficient, but it's the only way it actually lasts. The couples who skip this and design a beautiful vision statement, those don't stick. The underlying fears and competing weights are still unnamed, but the couples who do the harder work first, who actually understand each other, those visions hold. Not because they're perfect, but because they're rooted in something real. One of the quiet mistakes I see in couples trying to design a 10-year family vision while ignoring the truth of the next 12 months, they talk about legacy, impact, values, but they haven't asked, what season are we actually in right now? Because vision without season awareness becomes pressure. A young family needs a different vision than a scaling family. If you don't adjust for the season, one person will always feel rushed and the other will feel stuck. I work with a family where the husband just became CEO. Significant demands on his time. His wife wanted to design a vision. They created something beautiful, family time, presents, Sunday dinner, regular dates. Then he started the role, 70-hour weeks. Traveling, mentally preoccupied. Suddenly the vision felt like a hammer. They needed to ask first, what is the vision for this season? Not next season, this one. For that season, maybe the vision was survive this well, protect the marriage, keep kids emotionally stable, find moments of connection without pressure. When you account for the season, the vision actually works. Here's a reframe that shifts everything, and it's simple. Instead of asking, what kind of family do we want to build? Ask, what are we trying to protect in this season? Because aspiration is easy. Everyone wants presence, success, strong kids, but protection reveals actual priorities. You'll hear things like stability, margin, presence, growth, flexibility, rest, and opportunity. Those words matter. They're clues. Once you know what you're protecting, decisions stop feeling arbitrary. You're no longer arguing about details. You're protecting something together. Maybe you're protecting stability. That means moving slowly on big changes, wanting financial buffer, being thoughtful about influences. Maybe you're protecting growth. That means taking calculated risks, investing in development, willing to sacrifice margin temporarily. None of these are wrong, but they point in different directions. And when you know what you're protecting, decisions become coherent. That's where real agreement starts to form. One pattern I see a lot, one partner feels the vision conversation always circles back to the business. The other feels the business is being misunderstood or minimized. That's a painful loop. Your ambition and willingness to take risks are strengths and not character flaws. So to the partner, you would say your desire for connection isn't resistance. It's what makes the life meaningful. Both are forms of leadership. They just operate on different timelines. One is asking, what can we become? The other is asking, who are we becoming in the process? Both questions matter. You're not actually in opposition, you're asking complementary questions. When couples honor that, something softens. Vision stops being a tug-of-war and becomes a dialogue about what you're building and who you're becoming together. It needs to end in trust. Trust that even when we choose differently, we are choosing together. That's the real goal. Not a flawless plan, not a polished vision statement, but a shared confidence. We know why we're doing this. So if you're watching this and feeling slightly unsettled, that's not a bad sign. It means there's a deeper conversation waiting to happen. Clarity, especially in family leadership, almost always comes before strategy, not after. If you're navigating the intersection of business growth and family health, KingdomROI.org offers frameworks specifically designed for leaders who refuse to sacrifice one for the other. They help you build a vision that honors both. Take your time with it. The conversations that change families usually do require just that.